and welcome to my February TBR. So this month is definitely going to be highly focused on fantasy for me, but I do have one contemporary romance inclusion. I'll start with the contemporary, just because I've got it right here. I want to finally read Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've never read Emily Henry before. Also, look at this beautiful sprayed edges. I got this at Dimmicks. But I really want to read this in February because this to me seems like a summer book, and February is the last month of summer here in Australia, so I feel like if it's now whatever, you know? So I am definitely going to pick this one up. I've heard really good things. Contemporary doesn't always hit for me, but I am hopeful with this one. I do want to here and there read some of the mainstream contemporary releases and mainstream contemporary authors, so I feel like this is a decent place as any to start. Then the other book I actually have a physical copy of, The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. I'm trying not to start more series, but there are only 2 books out in this so far, so I feel like it is achievable and I'm not being too crazy by taking this on. I really, really want to read this. This is, I suppose, was a Raylo fanfiction, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really into Raylo fanfic, but every book I have read that was a Raylo fanfic and then was adapted into like a published novel, I have actually really enjoyed. So I am excited for this one. I think this may have something to do with pirates. Not 100% sure, don't know a lot about it, have heard mixed reviews, but I'm hopeful that I'm really going to like it. Plus, this edition by Bluely Boo and Perfectly Edged is gorgeous, so I do need to finally pick this one up. Of course, I have to continue my dive into the Solaria universe. I think I've read like 13 books in the overarching Solaria universe so far, but I need to read this month. I want to read at least Zodiac Academy 6, 7, and 8, which will mean I'm getting very close to rounding out the end of Zodiac before moving on to Darkmoor Penitentiary. But yeah, 6, 7, and 8, that is definitely on my TBR this month, because 5, what an insane freaking cliffhanger. I'm going to talk about it more like in its own little video. I'm doing a video dedicated to Solaria. Yeah, I'm still caught off guard by the end of number 5. Court of Darkness by C.N. Crawford. This is another fantasy romance series that I started the first book of and just downloaded the second on my Kindle and never got around to continuing. But this month I do want to continue because I did really enjoy the first book. Plus these are like shorter, more digestible, so I feel like it shouldn't take me too long to sort of tackle this series. So I want to try Court of Darkness and see if I enjoy it and want to continue, because I definitely want to make decisions about series I'm going to continue or DNF this year. Speaking of series I'm in the middle of, I want to read Pillars of Creation by Terry Goodkind. It has been ages since I finished Faith of the Fallen and time has just gotten away from me, but February it's time to pick up Pillars of Creation and continue on my journey with Richard and Kaylin. I think part of the reason I haven't been reading these is because I do love them so much. I love the Sword of Truth series. I don't care what anyone says. I was actually at an event just the other day and I found someone else at the event who has read Sword of Truth, and she was very anti the series, and I pretty much said over and over again, I don't care what you say. I love it, and no one can convince me not to love it. So Pillars of Creation I need to continue with. Finally, I want to read a standalone epic fantasy novel that I've heard a ton about, plus I'm happy to take it on because it is a standalone, and that is Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. I've heard so many good things. I actually don't think I've heard a single poor review of Sword of Kaigen, so I'm very, very excited to pick it up. I really hope it'll be my thing, though it does sound like it will be. I have had this in my Kindle again for ages, and it just never seems like the right time to pick it up, but I have decided February is going to be the right time. I am going to pick up Sword of Kaigen. I am going to see what it's like, because the hype has been unreal, and I really hope I enjoy it, because I want to sort of start tackling more of those epic fantasy and high fantasy reads that have been on my radar but that I've just been hesitant to jump into. And speaking of like epic and high fantasy standalones, if you have any recommendations for books that you have read in that standalone genre, I would really appreciate any recommendations, because I want to pick up more this year without feeling like I'm going to get myself caught in another series. So yeah, those are the 8 books on my February TBR. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable amount to put on there. We are not quite at the end of January yet when I'm filming this, and I have managed to read 11 books so far, and I'm on my 12th. And speaking of my 12th read of January, there's a very exciting release coming out in February, which I think you guys should all put on your February / I guess more so March TBRs, and let me pull that out right now. On the 28th of February, a great new epic high fantasy release is coming out, and that is the 3rd book in the Illborn saga, Gatebound by Daniel T. Jackson. This is coming out on the 28th of February, so get in there, pre-order your copies. You can get it on the Kindle store, or you can also order a physical copy from The Broken Binding. I believe they're available for pre-order, potentially signed even, so go and take a look. I'm currently reading an advanced review copy, and though I'm only towards the beginning, I'm really enjoying it so far. Plus, I have loved the first 2 books in the Illborn saga, so if you want to support an indie author who writes absolutely amazing, incredible, epic high fantasy, definitely check out the Illborn saga and make sure to pre-order Gatebound today. I'm not being paid to say this. I just really think everyone should read this book. Okay, that is it from me. I hope to see you guys soon. Please let me know what is on your February TBR down below, and if you have read any of the books that are on my TBR, make sure to let me know what you thought. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.